All right, welcome back. And with us in studio is Deputy Chief Whip Chris Wamalwa Code Party MP Kiminini. Karibu.
Thank you.
Of course, and Chama.
Welcome.
Well.
Thank you.
Now, Mheshimiwa, you were a lecturer before you got into active politics. And seeing the stalemate with the teachers and the government, unhappy parents, what do you feel is the way forward?
I think having been a teacher and looking at what's going on, really it's very disturbing. Many of us were here, we are where we are today because of the teachers.
That's true.
And teachers are very critical as far as the achievement of everybody's vision is concerned. So to me, I think the government has not given the right attention as far as solving the problem with the teachers is concerned. Mind that His Excellency the President in many occasions has been requesting the teachers to come to the negotiating table. But as a member of parliament, as a former teacher, I strongly feel he has not done enough. What the teachers are demanding is not out of the blues. When you look at the legal notice of 1997, indeed this is a promise.
Exactly.
And you know very well that I had in Ideni. So the best thing the government should have done, the president himself shall have a chat with the striking representative of the teachers and see how do we negotiate so that we can have the way forward. Right now, the students, the pupils have been at home for about 4 weeks right now.
Yeah, and that's the apparently the longest that we've ever had teachers striking in this country, isn't it?
Absolutely. And to me, I think this is a national disaster.
That's a third of a term.
Absolutely.
A
So
third of a
really,
term.
what the president should have done, should have gone to the negotiating table. And in terms of negotiation, there's this element of give and take. But we've not seen that commitment.
Can we afford to pay the teachers? We need our children in school. That's
true. But now, what's happening is the government is using divide and rule. You know, we have corporate and we have NAT.
True.
But unfortunately, corporate represents only about maybe 40,000 or so. And NAT represents almost 300,000. So in terms of stakeholder analysis, you should be able to see who is the person that I should be able to discuss. But now NAT, you can see Sosioni, the threats they are getting. The other day when they were having a meeting with the TSC, you saw what happened. The court came in and they were served. They are being forced to go in. And again, there are a lot of threats. In terms of negotiation, you don't threaten. When you come to
he's taking the wrong approach.
Absolutely, the approach is totally wrong.
But can we afford it? And with us, of course, there was the issue of, should we have waited with the laptops, or should it have been implemented in phases?
In terms of affordability,
yes,
the government can manage. Research has shown that 30% of the national collection goes down through corruption. So if the government can put measures in place to control this corruption, and when you talk about 30% of the GDP of this country,
that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
30%.
Almost,
wow.
300 billion.
Billion, yeah. Wow.
So if the government can put measures in place to counter these aspects of corruption, still there's so much money that is going into wastages. And definitely they can manage to pay the teachers. Look at the issue, the project of the laptop.
Yes, there we go.
In terms of equity.
Was it too early to start that, you think?
To me, I don't think there's any hurry for the Jubilee government to bring in the aspect of the laptop. What they should be able to do, and in any case, if you're giving somebody something, and he tells you he doesn't need it, why should you force it down that person? Again, it brings question marks in terms of, is it another loophole or a way of bringing another corruption, maybe?
I know it doesn't really isn't clear. It doesn't make
also,
sense.
If the teachers are striking and there are no teachers in schools, how are those laptops going to be used?
How are they efficient? And also, there's also the option of perhaps having computer labs in each school, because schools still don't have that. So access to computers for everyone, even teachers themselves. Couldn't that have been more feasible?
Now, yeah, I agree with you. When you look at the laptop issue, first they should have gone the way of maybe having computer labs. In the first place, the teachers themselves, they're ignorant about the laptops. I was talking to some from my village. They've never seen what a laptop is. And you can imagine you're giving a standard 1 pupil a laptop, you are increasing aspects of insecurity. The government has lost its priorities. So the issue of the laptop is not an issue right now.
So even as a lecturer, you don't think it's important for children to be tech savvy?
It's a good idea, yes, but not at this time. In terms of, there's an economic problem which says there are so many needs and wants, but unfortunately, you have to look at the priorities. The resources are limited.
Exactly.
So
and
in
we
this
still have some children who are schooling under trees.
Absolutely, under trees. There are no classrooms.
Exactly.
There's no food. So we should get our priorities right. The issue of laptops can come later, and in any case, not for standard 1. Maybe for purposes of standard 8 and start by training the teachers, have a computer lab in place, it's when this project is going to be feasible. But from there things are, I think the government has lost priorities. To me, the issue of the laptop should come later. During the budget appropriations, you realize CORD tried to bring some amendments to get part of the 47 billion. Mheshimiwa Midiwo had brought in the amendment to bring the 53 billion. I also brought in an amendment to get the 47 billion. But unfortunately, in the House, we have something called tyranny of numbers. We could not go anywhere. But the issue here is we spoke to so many of the legislators, even from the side of Jubilee. They strongly believe that the issue of laptop should not be a priority at the moment. But unfortunately, when you look at the Political Parties Act, where you have the party discipline, members of parliament are forced to toe the line. And we are trying to bring in an amendment of the Political Parties Act so that members of parliament can argue out things for the purposes of the national good. So this party act is the one bringing a lot of problems, whereby you are forced to, if the party line says you go this way, you have to go that way. And this is negating.
So you're still trying to figure out your way within parliament itself and parties. But I want to ask you, you are opposition.
Yes.
And it's been 4 months, Jubilee in office.
Yes.
Where can you commend them?
Now, one thing I want to say is by us being in the position, it does not mean we oppose everything that the government says.
Of course.
But we give constructive criticism. So for the Jubilee government, the time has been in office, the percentage I can give them, maybe 40%. Actually,
from a teacher's point of view.
Absolutely. They've been below average. They've worked badly as far as the teachers is concerned. Aspects of insecurity, we've had problems.
But did they inherit that in terms of insecurity, even from the past regime?
You know, the issue is when you inherit something, you don't blame whoever was there.
That is true.
You're in charge, you're supposed to put the things in there. Absolutely. So to me, the issue of them saying they inherited, it does not arise.
That's a good focus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in terms of security, you remember when this government took power, we had insecurity cases in Bungoma, in Trans Nzoia, in Mandera,
That's right.
in Wajir, in Garissa, in Kisii. It's actually now Kitui is going all over.
That's true.
So the issue is the government sleeping? What is it doing to enhance security in this country? The president, when he took over power, he talked about attracting investors, ensuring security for the Wananchi and their property. A lot of property has been destroyed.
Damaged and destroyed, yes.
People have lost lives.
That's right.
So the issue is, where are the priorities for this government? That's where the big problem is.
In the health sector, are you impressed in any way?
When it comes to the health sector, one thing I want to say, I want to commend the Jubilee government for introducing the free maternity.
Yes.
That is good, and to me, I think it's a good idea. You know, now we are in the implementation side. We want to know, is it going to come with the quality aspect? Are they going to walk the talk? Or really, you're going to have this free maternity when it comes to the...
But you see, the issue here is free maternity, brilliant. And then after that, you have a baby, but you're paying VAT on diapers and sanitary.
And even with the free maternity, you'll find in some places there's no personnel and facilities issue. So people are having to return back to their counties. Like if you're from Garissa now, you go back to your home county to serve them. So there's still there's still a problem.
In fact, when it comes to the issues of free maternity in some of those health facilities in the rural village, one, we don't even have the personnel.
Exactly.
There are no nurses, there's nobody. So when you talk of free maternity, first and foremost, you must address the issue of personnel. Do you have even nurses there? Do you have the midwives there? The truth of the matter is they are not there. When it comes to free maternity, we have aspects of like diagnostics, the laboratory aspect, they have to check the blood samples, whatever, blood groups. We don't have those facilities. So we have this idea, but have we built the infrastructure to put in place to enhance this aspect of free maternity? Of course, no. But the idea is very good. To me, it's they have to get committed and maybe to put in place the personnel that is supposed to ensure that this service is going to be successful.
Of course. As we do wrap up, Kamal, you brought up the VAT bill.
Now,
how is the amendment going?
VAT comes in when the government wants to raise money. When you look at the President Uhuru's budget, it's about 1.6 trillion. And on the VAT side, these are about more than 400 items which were zero rated or were exempted.
Exactly.
We want to bring in the bracket of
400.
I know.
400.
The mind boggles. So there must
As
be
a woman
daily
and a mother of young
basic
children.
things that have just
Absolutely.
basically gone up.
And what they're saying, they want to raise about 10 billion. And some of the things that they want to put VAT, for example, they're talking about medicines. If you put VAT in medicines, medicines are going to be very expensive. How do you tax somebody who is on a sick bed at the hospital?
We've
It's
never
like-
had VAT on medicines before,
We've
as you,
never had
yeah.
it.
So why now?
It's very crazy.
Yeah.
It's something which is unpopular, and to me, I think the Jubilee government should withdraw this issue so that we don't have VAT on medicines, because people are going to die. People cannot afford.
As it is, they're very expensive.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
even blood.
What is the truth? Is the devolution system too expensive for Kenya?
Now,
Can
the
we afford this?
devolution system, I think, as we are moving on, there are teething problems which are there. And one thing is when this constitution came into being, I think what we failed to do, we failed to budget it, to know how much is it going to cost to the Kenyans. As we're moving on, definitely we are seeing it's actually expensive. But as I said earlier, funds are there. The problem is the loopholes of corruption.
That's true.
So if we can link, I mean, we can be able to block
In the loophole.
all these things. We have some good governance. The money that we have can be able to sustain devolution. And by the way, you know, Kenya is one of the countries that is highly taxed.
Yes, it is. That much I know. When
That
I
much
work
you know.
hard, I know that much, that I'm a statistic, a world statistic.
Thank
So-
you.
Yeah.
Nashkuru, we do have to wrap up, but Valentine and Chama is standing by. Do stay tuned.